Come in.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Janecek.
Nice to meet you. I'm Mark.
I'm a sales associate at Salesforce's business card.
All right.
What'd you have for lunch there?
Oh, just a which sandwich. So,
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I usually go to Slotchki. It's real close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got you scheduled here for a meeting at 7:45 to talk about our product Salesforce. Is that okay if we proceed with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty. So, what do you think? What do you know about Salesforce?
So I know that Salesforce is one of the leading CRM systems that's out there. I know that they have a lot of cloud-based solutions that can help manage customers and contacts. I understand it can be expensive because you have per month per user licensing, right? And it's kind of ongoing. So as long as you use it, you have to pay for it. So those are a few things.
I gotcha. So where are you looking to, I guess what are the top three things you expect from a CRM system to improve with your sales operations?
I think number one is the visibility of information.
Okay.
I think that one of the things with our current processes and systems we use is it takes a lot of effort to get a view of the whole country. So I would expect that it would help us do that in a more streamlined way. I think number two is productivity. We have 200 salespeople, and so our goal is to keep them in front of their customers and
Gotcha.
prospects as much as possible.
So time in the office away?
Yeah, just we don't want them doing administrative tasks that are non-value added. They don't like doing those, and we want them to be selling. So I'd like to free up time from what they're doing today with our manual processes, and then I think security of our data is important. So I know that Salesforce is cloud-based, which means that our data is not on our servers in
It's
our
all
building.
independent.
And so, how does that work with all the other customers who use it? How do I make sure that this salesperson doesn't see stuff they're not supposed to see? I know today when we email our Excel files, they're only getting what they're supposed to get. So, how do I make sure that data security is something that doesn't expose information outside of our company or also to other people in the company that shouldn't see certain information.
Sure. What's your current CRM system that you're currently using right now?
If you want to call it a CRM system, we're using a lot of Excel-based tools. We, on the new business side of things, when we're looking at prospects, we have an opportunity scorecard in Excel, and that allows the customer to go through the questions we know they need to answer in order to determine if this is going to be a good prospect. And then they'll aggregate a lot of that information and provide it back to us. We use the other Microsoft products as well, but when we're talking about sharing information and data, it's primarily Excel. They also each have a book of business, a number of customers that they are assigned. And so if we want to provide information about here's how these customers are performing in sales, here's how the customer is doing in this marketing program, we have to take that data and we have to cut it up into files that are relevant and then send them their files today for them to see the information.
Okay. So at Lennox, what's some key sales growth objectives in the next 12 to 24 months that I guess y'all are trying to hit?
I think number one is our new business goal.
Okay.
We have a goal every year of driving new business, and so we have to hit those new business goals. That's every territory manager has a goal, and that is a customer who is in our new business program selling over what they sold last year. Number two is our existing customer growth, and on the flip side, attrition. So we want to reduce attrition so we keep the business that we do have, and then help those customers that stay with us to grow. So those are the two biggest ones. I would say if I had to add a third, it's around pricing excellence.
Okay.
With all the COVID things that happened in 2020 and following, there's been a lot of changes to our supply chain, a lot of issues in components going up in price.
Mhm.
So we have to effectively pass on those price increases
To the clients.
to the customer.
Mhm.
We're B2B, so they sell to a homeowner,
Mhm.
we sell to them. So it's not just us passing on the price, they also have to pass on the price. And so we have pricing goals then, and we need to measure, when we raise our prices, are we sticking the price? Or are we having price leakage because a customer is ordering through a different mechanism or the salesperson's giving discounts?
Mhm.
So those new business, existing customer growth / attrition, and then pricing are probably the top three.
I gotcha. So I guess you see technology playing a crucial role. You'd like your CRM system to be very reliant on, I guess, existing customers and new customers.
Yeah, I mean, those are the two big areas.
Mhm.
Every territory manager probably has 20 to 30 accounts they already own, and they need information on how those customers are performing. And then they all have to go find new business, so they have to do prospecting calls. They fill out these scorecards to determine pipeline, and our VP of sales really wants to have a better view on what that pipeline looks like. If we don't have enough opportunity, then we need to go out and find more opportunities. So how does he see that in a more real-time way versus waiting for things to be kind of summed up on a manual process?
Mhm. So how much time would you say your associates or your staff members spend time in the office instead of out selling to new clientele or I guess uh, reaching out to existing clients about their current.
I would estimate like selling time versus non-selling time.
Mhm.
Um, it's probably about 70% selling time and 30% non-selling.
Okay.
That would be all the administrative, all the paperwork, all the things that they're not in front of a customer. Our sales team is across North America,
Mhm.
so most of them don't go to an office every day. Most of them
Gotcha.
go from their house to visit clients. But when we look at, doing studies with them, I think the number, that's it's probably a 70-30 split. We would love them, we'd love to move that up, 80% of their time, 90% of their time in front of customers, and less time searching for information, less time having to manually put things in,
Mhm.
and more time where they can take data to talk to their customers about how they can help them, and then more time in front of prospects, giving our Lennox value proposition so we can add more clients.
I gotcha. So a question I guess I have based off of that would be how much time or accessibility away from the office does I guess your sales associates have to the I guess the Excel spreadsheet. I feel like it's maybe if they have access to Wi-Fi and then maybe cellular hotspot off their phone, but
Yeah,
and
that's
then
pretty
just
much it. I mean, in the big city areas, it's probably not as bad, but you have a lot of rural areas. So if you're in Montana or Idaho or, out in the country areas, you may have some issues with it.
Mhm.
Cellular networks have expanded pretty well, so not as much as it used to be because they can tie in with a hotspot. But um, it is something that, depending on if they're in a rural area, that might be an issue.
I gotcha. So I guess so I guess mobile access would be important to you as well. So off your phone instead of and
I mean, I think so because if you look at, if you have to fire up your computer every time, you have to remember the environment that they're in.
Mhm.
They're walking into a HVAC dealer's business.
Mhm.
This isn't a Fortune 500 company where they're walking into a huge conference room and they're plugging in all the time. It might be sitting at a desk with an owner. They might be in the shop in the back having a conversation. So there's not always going to be that opportunity to open up your laptop and connect it,
and show
right.
things on.
And then, we ask them to do a minimum of 10 in-person sales calls per week. So that's 2 per day,
Mhm.
and that's the minimum. So if they're out and they're doing prospecting and they're meeting, you know, everybody uses their mobile phone. So, you know, today it's really hard to work on Excel on your mobile phone.
Yes,
You know,
definitely.
it's definitely not a great experience. So most of them are waiting till the end of the night or the end of the week. And so, you know, lag of getting information, that can, we see that in some places.
I see. What do you think the processing time, to, I guess, to train your staff members, a CRM system would be in time frame? Ideally, would you like?
You know, I think that there's obviously, if we made a switch, we'd have to do a large training, and because of the way we do our regions, we probably would have some events that would be national, but then to get them hands-on, we'd have to probably do regions. So, you know, given that it's 200 people in 26 different districts, and we don't have like a massive training team, it would probably take us 90 days to roll something out.
Okay.
And then we would have to look at how we embed it in our ongoing training. So we do new TM training twice a year for our new territory managers. And then 2 or 3 times a year, we train them on various things. So this would have to be included in those ongoing trainings, in addition to a, you know, big bang, if you will, of getting it launched. And that is a concern. You know, we have salespeople that have been with us for 20 plus years.
I see.
And so they don't all love computers.
Right.
And so there's a concern of, if we spend all this money, are they gonna use it? You know, how do we ensure they use it? You know, what are other companies doing in this area? So, you know, we know that people are using technology, but we'd like to know, you know, are there success stories that we could look at, and are there things we could leverage from what other companies are doing?
I see. I guess so. What would be some key features or trackers you would like that would be useful for a sales staff member? So some features in the CRM system that you would feel like be very useful, and I guess cut down on time that you're on your current CRM system with Excel.
I think number one is our pipeline. You know, measuring our pipeline. So how much pipeline have we uncovered? How long has it been in the system? You know, so being able to measure that at a territory, at a district, at a region and company level, that's really what our VP of sales is asking us to do. And so we put a lot of pivot tables together and try to aggregate that up. So I definitely what our pipeline looks like. I think the other thing is, you know, we've got dozens of marketing programs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like my team to not have to send those out and not have to cut them up by district.
I see.
So, you know, we have 26 districts. So if I'm sending out information at a individual company, you know, dealer level, I'm not gonna send out a file for the whole country to every salesperson. We don't want them walking away with all of our information if they decide to leave. So the ability for us to have the right security controls where they only see what they're supposed to see.
I see. So what kind of reporting and analytic capabilities would you like to have in your in a CRM system?
I mean, we're gonna need to see their sales, like what sales are doing. We talked about our sales process, so we do a scorecard, and then from our scorecards, we try to offer proposals. So I would wanna know, how many proposals are we doing off of the scorecards that we're creating, and then of those proposals, how many are getting accepted, and what kind of sales do we have from them? The other thing is sales activities. We don't know how many sales calls our team is making, and so we'd like to get visibility, because we're asking them to do 10 sales calls a week, 40 per month. Out of that 40 per month, we're asking them for 12 of those to be prospecting calls. So how would we measure their sales activity? And, you know, who's doing it, who's not doing it, those kinds of things.
I gotcha. So you would like something that you can easily track, I guess, current, existing customers, new customers, per, tracking, I guess, pipeline sales, trying to figure out where new potential sales are.
Yeah.
Okay. And then being able to view and see what their productivity of each sales member with your employees.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. So I'd like to schedule a meeting for a demo with the applications engineer to show you some tools with Salesforce. Would that be, I guess, would you be interested in that? Could we schedule something within the next week or two?
Probably in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'd like to look at it with my team and understand a little bit more. And I'd also, in addition to just seeing the technical demo, I'd like to know what success you're having with other companies
Okay.
that look like us,
Right.
that sell to a dealer
Right.
base, that sell to a consumer, because I want to know that if we're investing in something, we're investing in something that some other people have been able to use successfully.
Yes. So can I guess get your email? Would next 2 weeks from now at 7:45 again? Would that work for
Sure.
you?
Yep.
Okay. What would be a good email address for you?
So it's my first name, Mark, and then dot my last name, Yoni, Yonai, at lennox.com.
Is that Linux with an S or just an X?
It's Lennox.
Alrighty. Is there any questions that you may have for me that I may be able to answer?
What does the pricing look like for something like this?
Per unit, I believe it is about $70 a month per unit, but with the amount of staff members, it will be for you. Each unit, I guess I should say, for each person that's has their own account with Salesforce, it will be $70 a month.
$70 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So if you have a couple hundred employees,
Do you have discounts?
not that I know of. I don't know if I'm sure there is within the company. I don't quote me on it, but I would imagine that there would be something if you're having a couple hundred members come on. I would think.
All right. Well, we'll need to talk about that because that might be
A deal breaker for
yeah,
sure.
we'll have to see.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for your time today. Hope we'll get to see you in 2 weeks.
All right.
And I'll show you what we can do.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Let me just stop this and I'll give you some feedback.